Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Essential questions. What are the basic characteristics of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells, and how are these cells classified into currently recognized kingdoms? Prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Cells are the basic unit of life for all living things. Two basic types of cells. We have the prokaryotic. The domain are bacteria and archaea. The kingdoms are eubacteria and archaeobacteria. The second type is eukaryotic cells. Domain is eukaryotic, and the kingdoms are protists, fungi, plantae, and animalia. All life came from a single cell, and the cell started evolving to bacteria and archaea, and then this started evolving and mutating, and we got protists, plantae, fungi, and animalia. Prokaryotic, the prefix pro means before. The suffix kary means kernel or nucleus. Before nucleus means it does not have a nucleus. Eukaryotic, the prefix eu means true. The suffix kary is nucleus. It means it has a true nucleus, so it has a nucleus. Similarities. They both have DNA, which is the genetic material. They both have a cell membrane, which protects the cell. They both have cytoplasm, where chemical reactions take place. It's like a jelly-like substance in the cell. They both have ribosomes, and ribosomes make proteins. What are their differences? Prokaryotic has no nucleus. It lacks organelles. It is unicellular, which means it only has one cell. They're simple organisms. They're the oldest cell type. They're small. Their DNA is not in the nucleus, and they reproduce asexually. Eukaryotic has a membrane-bound nucleus. They have organelles. They're multicellular or unicellular. They're more complex organisms. They've evolved from prokaryotic cells. They're larger. Their DNA is in a nucleus, and they reproduction is sexually. Prokaryotic before nucleus cells do not have a membrane-bound nucleus. Eukaryotic is true nucleus, and the cells have a membrane-bound nucleus. That is a major difference. Organelles, prokaryotic lack organelles. Eukaryotic have multiple organelles, and their organelles have many different functions. Prokaryotic are unicellular. It's made of one cell. All life activities are carried out by the cell itself with its internal structures. If that cell dies, the whole thing's dead. Eukaryotic is multicellular, made from more than one cell. They can also be unicellular. They do have some that are unicellular. The organisms in this group of cells that function the same way to form tissues or organs. Cells make up tissue, tissue makes up organs, organ makes up an organ system, and an organ system makes up an organism. The size unit is in micrometer, so prokaryotic are between 1 to 10 micrometers, and eukaryotic are between 10 and 100 micrometers. So the eukaryotic are about 10 times larger than the prokaryotic cells. DNA, prokaryotic cells have one single chromosome attached to the cell membrane. Eukaryotic cells, their DNA is linear chromosomes within the nucleus. It's formed in a double helix. Reproduction. Prokaryotic is asexual. They end up with two genetically identical cells. Eukaryotic is sexual, and the new cell's genetic material is 50% from one parent and 50% from the other. I'll add a link to this video right here with the amoeba sisters, asexual and sexual reproduction. Prokaryotes, examples are organisms with prokaryotic cells. They give us intestinal diseases. Gives us strep throat. Gives us the antibiotic streptomycin. There are good and bad prokaryotes. Some help us, some harm us. Some organisms with eukaryotic cells are yeast, that's in the fungi kingdom. Paramecia is in the protist kingdom. Mushrooms, fungi. Grass, plantae. Potatoes, plantae. Trees, plantae. Algae in protist. Frogs are in animalia, and humans are in animalia. After you went through this, you should be able to differentiate between characteristics of prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells and diagram how these cells fit into currently recognized kingdoms.